Welcome everyone. Welcome to our exposure. And this is our sixth episode. And today with me we have always have our Deborah H Dickinson from Deborah H Dickinson Coaching. So welcome, Deborah.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm just going into Facebook and so you can probably hear us going live. I'm just going to Facebook so that I can share. And just give me a moment. Thank you. And all done. Awesome. Sorry about that. Okay. So how are you, Imran?
I am very good. Very good week for me. Thank you so much. And what about your week?
Oh, it's been a crazy week. I had so Monday, Tuesday, I had just back-to-back meetings the entire time. So it was quite challenging, but it was, I mean, the results of the meetings were awesome. So it was a mixture of business, mixture of sales, mixture of, our networking stuff, but the connections that I made were absolutely amazing. So as much it was a hard slog doing back to back. So that was pretty much from I think one morning was 7 a.m. till about 6 o'clock. So, but it was really, really enjoyable. I learned a lot. About other people, which is absolutely awesome for what I do. And what about you?
Oh, it's a new normal. What we can say new normal. We are spending lots of time in Zoom, meeting lots of people. For me, it's like this time I utilize as making connection with other businesses, other people, and also like spending myself. How can I utilize the online platform? So I'm enjoying the time. Really,
Yes.
I'm enjoying the time, and we also hoping what will happen to our Victoria this Sunday. Hopefully, we will get some freedom, and we can go to our life normal. That's another thing. And also, I'm very passionate about. I did a research in 5 years back, and I'm going to a professor tomorrow. That's another thing. That's some of the people don't know even. That's another thing I'm doing right now.
Wow. And so last week you announced you were talking about that you're an ambassador. What was it? You're an ambassador of another group, and so this week, wow, you just keep expanding, Imran. You never stop. That's why I enjoy working with you, because you push me to my limits as well. So I suppose we should tell people about who we are and what we do.
Yes, start with you.
Yeah, so for those that don't know me, my name's Deborah. I am a life coach, empowerment mindset, and I work with people, driven-minded people that of all ages, but they've just lost that spark, they've lost that fire in the belly, and through my program, I help them get reconnected to creating that impeccable mindset for success in life, and and we have so much awareness, realization, getting to that point, and reaching those goals that you thought were not happening fast enough. So we can definitely do that together. But I absolutely love, because it's about, as we say, exposure, and it's about exposure to self for me, getting to know you and exposing yourself and being very proud of stepping into the successful you. What about you, Imran? So tell us more about you.
So this is Imran Abul Kashem. I try to help people to looking their best in front of the camera, or capturing their best in front of the camera, and that's how I make people happy. That's my one of the job. But in terms of, I'm working with camera. I'm a photographer. I'm owner of Westend Photography. But I do short-term and long-term photographic project. I publish book, and I do lots of things. I will not spend this time. But today we are very excited. We've got someone very special. He's a branding guru.
Yes.
I know him. You know him very well, and like what we started this event like exposure, and he can do like he can make any company's exposure like branding exposure, and the company will go up with his hand.
Yes.
So tell me about Rob Bouquet, like, and we're gonna welcome him within a minute.
Yes.
So if you'd
Yeah.
like to tell something about Rob.
Yeah. So, well, I think you've nailed it. Rob helps you. Rob works with you to expose your business to its best, to the best ability that you want it to be, right? And that is through branding. That is through all the fabulous stuff that he does. And we're all part of an ongoing network of people that he has amazing longevity and brings such a wealth of knowledge to all of us as new business owners. Sort of been there, done that, time to get back into it again. And actually, I'd love to hear his thoughts around through the situation that we've been in, because there have been so many businesses or just people in general that didn't know what to do. And I am sure that Rob has got some fantastic uplifting stories to tell us about that. So let's bring him on, Imran.
Let's welcome Rob Bouquet.
Hey, hi everyone. How you going? Lovely to be here.
Awesome.
Great
Awesome.
to see you, Rob. And like I told last week to our viewers, like you guys will laugh at the whole program. Rob is such an amazing, powerful, and a wise person. Like he can help people to smile very quickly. Is it true?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Got to bring the joy, but I got to say, you two have awesome smiles. I tell you right now.
Thank you.
Laugh to make the world go round, doesn't it? Hey?
It sure does. It sure does.
So, Rob, in our program, we started with why. There is a great TED talk starting with why. So if we want to know what you are a creative director in Bouquet Creative, and how you started your journey in the creative industry, and how you make this company, and and other thing is you are in business more than 30 years, and how was the journey?
You make me sound old, man. I tell you. Well, look, I love the fact that you're starting off with the why, and I think the why is such an important aspect of, we've all heard Simon Sinek and that aspect where you hear, people will tell you what they do, they'll tell you how they'll do it, but more importantly, when we get to the why, it's really the essence of why we're really in business, or why do we actually exist, or where does our happiness really lie, and so many of us go into business, I think, for a lot greater purpose than really just for the dollars, and that aspect. So it was, I'd say, well, 31 years this year we've been in business. So prior to the 31 years, I worked in agencies and significant design studios as well, which were fantastic. Learned a lot, but more importantly, what I was feeling was that I wasn't fulfilled in working for others. You deal with the high end customers, etc. as well, and they would pick you amongst many other, say, art directors or creative people to work on their projects because you were delivering a higher level of engagement, and they were getting a greater in-depth feel from the work that you were doing. But in gratification from an agency, that was very minimal. Right. So after that, and it was actually, I was brought into a company called Market Force Australia, and I'd set up a design studio in-house for them because, and their art room and etc., and made it profitable within a very short period of time. But because I believe they didn't know how to look after clients, we started to lose clients. And through that, 9 of us one day, we lost our jobs. Just like that. That's how easy it was. So from that moment on, I said, that's enough. I'm not going to let anybody else dictate the future of my life. And And I began Bouquet Productions, is what it was called back then, because I saw myself producing everything, and I did. You know, everything from video through to, creating new identities for companies, helping them grow in all different facets of how they engage with their clients, etc. It was really gratifying. But then also agencies started to utilize me to look after their clients as well, which was pretty cool. So but the main essence of when Bouquet Productions launched its own identity, and then obviously about 10 years ago, we rebranded ourselves as Bouquet Creative. We became Bouquet Creative, the brand experts, is really what we state of what we do. But our why is to create brands that will change the world around you. And that's our why. So, yeah, it doesn't matter what we're doing. It will change the world around you. And that's our focus. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this one out there. So with that experience that you've had and 30 years of doing this, tell me, what's probably the strangest brand you had to create, or the funniest brand?
Oh, really? Oh my God. Geez. Now you actually there was a company. Oh my God, this is going back. Yeah, of all things, they did babies dummies, and yeah, which is really quite unique. And through that, it was. I remember we photographed and did quite a bit of imagery related to all these different types of babies with dummies in their mouths, and sometimes, you go pop, you get that pop, I remember once we had this baby when we did that and she was laughing and laughing. But when we did that, all of a sudden she must have just had some milk and it went everywhere. It was like unbelievable, all over the cameraman and everything. It was like so. That's a pretty weird and wonderful things, dogs that we had to get them to jump over things or look like they're holding a bunch of balloons, and sometimes they're almost got to urinate on the photographer. It's just lots of funny things that happen.
Oh, that's awesome, and thank you for that, because I was just, as you were talking, that kind of popped to my mind. I thought, I'm sure Rob won't mind if I ask that question. So thank you for that. But yeah, I can imagine working with, what do they say? You don't work with babies and animals. Is that not right?
Yeah, look, you never know what you're going to get, that's for sure. But you want to capture it. You want to capture this stuff because there's sometimes gold, absolute gold that happens too.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, that's nice. Andrew's dropped in. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you online again with us. That's absolutely awesome. Imran, you got another question?
Yes, I have lots of questions for Rob. And Rob, I want to know how, in the current situation, how creative industry or how your industry affect, a lot, and how we can help each other in the COVID situation.
Yeah, sure. It's an interesting one, and I'll go back, say, back in March when we really affected pretty much everybody and started to hit stage 3 back then. It affected about 90% of our clients. So the snowball effect of, if it affects your clients, it affects you, it affects others. So it affects the people that we deal with as well. So it's very impactful in lots of ways that what you would see. But with ourselves, I changed mindset. And I think that's really important in today's world, that we change the mindset. And so through that, I actually started doing a lot of work for nothing. And it was really to just give to people, to help those that I could, to help clients, friends, colleagues, and also people that I was referred to, obviously through networks, to help them to actually looking at the other side of this. So although there is a lot of doom and gloom, there is a lot of greatness that's going on here. And there's industries that are doing phenomenally well. If you're fortunate enough to be involved with, the larger companies that are essential in today's world, you're naturally going to do very, very well. There's no doubt. But the point is, if we can change our mindset to be a lot more on what opportunities are coming to us, then we can actually see a great deal of change. And it's something that I may have mentioned to you before, is that somebody asked me about, well, how would you sum up this time in 3 words? And the first word that immediately came to point was adapt. You know, we need to adapt in these times, especially if we're business owners. We want our businesses to exist. We want to improve our market. We need to allow opportunities. So we need to adapt to this time. We then obviously then the next step with that is that we've got to change. So we can't stay in the same way. We stay in the same rut. We're just going to keep going down those railway lines, you know, as well. And the last but not least is really to evolve. So adapt with it, you know, change and evolve. You know, so let's plant some new seeds. Let's look at what we can do. And we're very fortunate in today's world that this digital medium is incredible. And for the future, it's really important, I believe, that every business must have some kind of online digital type of presence, you know, an aspect to your business. Even though you may be very touchy-feely in everything that you do, that's great, but still have something in the future that aligns you or allows an element or a product line to be offered in an online presence in one way or another, and engage yourself through this medium. So networks are fantastic. As we know, there's networks that are online at the moment, and there's a lot of business happening. People are disconnecting themselves by not allowing this sort of medium to be used. So get yourself out there. You know, don't be scared. Believe in what you're great at doing. Find an element of it, and then adapt it, change it, evolve it. And I believe your business will do very, very well in the long run as well.
Yeah, and that's you know, you talked about a couple of things there. It's that mindset, and you know, that's awesome to hear that you're helping people, you know, for no charge, because it's about giving them it's about giving people hope, isn't it? That we can get on the other side of this, and giving that little lift up to show how possible it is can change the mindset just like that, right? And I love that, and exactly, all those 3 words are just kind of it, you know. It's you know, there's been what are they? The words used as, you know, pivot and stuff like that. But I think the way that you've articulated those is it's a softer way of realizing what the path is to get through all of this, right? Yeah. And I just think that's absolutely awesome. So what would you, and again, sorry, this is another off the cuff question, but what do you think you'd say, or how do you think you talk to people, businesses that feel that they can't take their business online? You know, because what sort of comes to mind for me is that it's regardless of whether your business can be done online, there are other avenues to your business that you could probably be promoting online. Is that what you would say?
Actually, what I've done in the during this time, I guess, with people that have posed a similar type of question, you know, is that I've got an aspect to my business I call What the Fork. So we call it What the Fork because it's where people actually go, Rob, what the fork do I do with my marketing? What the fork do I do with this? And what the fork do I do with my online, etc. Right? So people get frustrated, and that's why we titled it this. It's about branding, business, and bacon. We say the bacon because that's the part that could taste really nice, or depending on what you love. But it's throwing that little bit of carrot and thinking outside the box. And so through that workshop, what we do is actually dig deep. So it's part of like my advanced brand analysis, but it's an element of where I just work with a whiteboard, for example, and really dig deep inside the person, their business, all the aspects of their business. And before they know it, they've actually got a very strong branding structure. And a branding structure is one that's related to your products and services. It's related to how you would represent your different divisions to a marketplace. It's also then how you can then utilize certain elements of it to be online. So I remember going back, there was a company that were related to hampers, etc. as well. And the business owner did not want any kind of social presence whatsoever because she hated social media, right? And so I was brought in, and we were around a table of, with all the people that worked in the company from a marketing point of view, and they were all too scared to actually let her know that we needed to be in a social presence. But I got up and go, why the hell is this company not on Facebook, on Instagram? Why are we not doing this? You've got the perfect product for doing this. And they all just looked at her, and she's like, oh, so that went on. It changed, we changed, and it changed her mindset, and I'm the one that could bring that to the table and really say, hey, shake her up. We need some change here. And as soon as we did, it changed the way in which their business automatically started to grow, and everybody got on board, started, sharing and liking and promoting it. We even instigated a couple of people that would work within the business, and they would look after that area. So they didn't even have to acquire a marketing company like ourselves. We just came in and gave them a hand along the way.
Nice.
We cracked the bloody can open, so we opened up the can and said, hey, what's inside? Let's get this out there, so, and it just opened up their world, which is really cool.
Wow. Yeah. Because there are some massive examples of where not changing that mindset has crumbled businesses, like, Blockbuster and stuff like that, where through not changing the mindset, now they, it's a nil business type thing. So, and I love that, just to open up the can, because really what it did for everybody else inside that business was allowed them to be more expressive and adventurous and creative, because prior to that and prior to with her mindset, she just kept pushing that creativity down. So that's awesome. So you do more than you do more than expose people's brands. You can expose them as well.
Well, it's interesting, Deb, where I remember talking to say 50, 100 type of people in an arena type of scenario or on stage, and I always ask this question, what do you believe branding is? And you'll get people that will talk about identity. They'll talk about certain areas of branding, in which way they think it works for them. But it's actually just one word, and the one word is everything. So it's everything. It's the way I shake your hand. I've given you a brand experience. It's the way I open the door and invite you into my premises. It's the cup of tea that I've made you to make you feel warm and welcome, or the bickies that I give you. It's the business card that I utilize, or it's the way in which I wear the brand on my top, or what's plastered all over my van, or the website, or the social media, etc. There's so many elements to it. It's you, the business owner. It's your team. It's your family. It's which way are we going to present you? A lot of the times people forget that there's just a million things and million approaches to the way we can work out a strategy, have a plan, have it with purpose, and we get some nice outcomes,
Nice. That's beautiful. I love that. Everything. It's branding is and it is everything. But even when we say that out loud, we still kind of we have to step out, like you say, step outside the box to really understand what everything means. Like you said, it's the way we shake hands. It's the way we make a cup of tea.
Well, we can't shake hands in today's world, eh? It'll be like, give the elbow. How do we give the elbow?
It could be virtual. It could be virtual handshake.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
That's what we are thinking. And also, like, one thing you guys will agree with me, if in this COVID time, in terms of the business, one thing people will learn from this pandemic is you need to have online presence. Not only you, but also your business. Without online presence, you guys can't survive in this world. You guys probably agree. And in this time, you and me and Deborah also both involved with the business network, with the business group as well. And you as one of the BNI member, I think 15 years, and one of the oldest in our region as well. And you are a BNI director, and you are launching a chapter that is online. Isn't it?
That's right.
So
Yeah, exactly.
how do you feel like people are doing online networking and from offline to going online? How is your experience? Could you share with us?
Yeah, well, look, initially, I think for many people in the networking world of, say, B&I especially, there was a bit of apprehension of what would this look like? How could we interact? We love the fact that when we meet face to face, that we actually get to give each other a hug, shake hands, and we could stand in a circle and actually meet everyone in one hit. This is, it's a different world in the way that we've looked at this. And how will it actually work? Will referrals still happen? Will we actually do okay? And I guess the most powerful thing about this is that it kept us all connected. And the connections have been the most powerful element of where we're isolated to our rooms, our homes, wherever it may be, that this medium has allowed us to bring our meetings online, keep really strongly connected, but more importantly now, as we've been in this for such a long time as well, is actually refer business to each other. We're actually, there are businesses I know that are without this online networking, they wouldn't exist. They wouldn't have the what they got in between. We just had recently a travel agent join our chapter. Now, travel agents at the moment, what are they doing? Brass razor. They've got nothing. The reason she joined our chapter is because she could see that she could fertilize her soil. She could build relationships. She saw the business that was going around the table every week, and through that was just blown away. She loved the connection. She loved the support. So we're supporting each other, even though some of us might be doing really well, others are not doing so well. We support those and we help them through it, so that when times get good, you can imagine how much support this lady's going to get when the doors open and the airlines can fly again and all the rest. Her business is just going to go right through the roof. Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. And given us all a real sense of community, right? Because there are businesses in our chapters where they've been very fortunate in doing really well through this time, and then there are those that are like the travel agents. They're not, but what I think it's that community sense has really brought us together, and even more so, we've supported each other. And it doesn't really, it's not always just about business, is it? It's just about, hey, I'm here. The support comes in so many ways, it's not just monetized all the time.
No. Yeah, exactly. We actually had, and I know he wouldn't mind me sharing this, is that we had one of our members and a beautiful man, and he's just a wonderful family man, but yet his family was stuck over in India. And he was here by himself, and yet his family was stuck over there because of the situation, because of the everything being brought in, the stages and the closing down of barriers, and countries' walls, etc. as well. And so he became very supported by our team, by our group. He loved that, and now eventually his family have come back, which is awesome. And the support that he has with the network, I think it brought tears and emotions, I think, to pretty much everyone. It's that very heartfelt support of somebody's life. So networking has a lot more value to it than people realize, especially in these times.
Yeah.
So in our Facebook comments, West Big, I know her, she's a friend of mine. Sam, she says connection has growth and simple existence. And she also wrote, from the business come from awesome friendship.
Yes.
We maybe totally agree with you. The business definitely make good friendship, and within a year we know each other's face and become a good friend through networking. And another friend from your chapter, I think.
Yes, Adam. Very good. It has been. Yeah, Adam's joined our group recently as well, and he's phenomenal. He's a handyman that does so many things. It's unreal. Apart from cut your grass, he'll fix your computer as well. But again, like stage 4 has affected him, and he knows it very well in what's happened there. But and he's got people that need their grass cut because there's snakes all over the place at the moment. You know, but the support that he's had and his love with the group has just been phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's the thing, right? There are some good stories to come out of what feels like a very difficult time. You know, and we've challenged ourselves. So, for example, Imran and I doing these, we talked about this way before COVID, but we never pushed the live button. And it wasn't until we had to push that we knew that we had to push ourselves in one way or another that it was like, all right, we're just doing it. We had no idea what we're doing, but we're just going to push the button and see where this takes us.
Yeah.
So what would you say for you, Rob? What's the great story that comes out of this, and what have you challenged yourself with coming through this?
Yeah, cool. That's an awesome question. Look, number one, I've got to applaud the two of you in doing this and actually stepping outside your comfort zone to do it, because not many people will, you know, and that's where sometimes we come in to help people and push them outside the box, because that's where we live. We love being outside there. Get outside your comfort zone and give this a go. And this is your 6th episode, and I think this is just fantastic. And I'm so honoured to be here sharing this time with you and doing something like this. Thank you very much for that. And I'd say that, look, the same with myself is it's really I don't really want to steer away from what I believe. And that's where, you know, people will come to me sometimes to fix things for them, and we can do that. You know, could you do me a logo? Could you fix me up a business card, or I need a website, or da-da-da. There's no problems with that. But the essence is actually to get to the essence of that company, right? And my advanced brand analysis has always been quite pivotal in getting to those nuts and bolts. It's understanding people and their company to a whole new depth. It's to say that, you know, for example, there may be 5 photographers and they'll all say that they do the same thing. But when we actually dig deep and understand that there's something about Imran that's very unique, his customers talk about him and the experience they've had with him with a warmth and a love, and they just feel amazing. And when they look at the photos he's created, there's something special about Imran. What's that special? We want those words, but then somebody else will describe that in a completely different manner. So now we have 2 markets all of a sudden. But we want to grab that essence and bring that to the world and say, hang on, you're no longer the same as those other 4 photographers. You're completely unique. But why are we not going out there and saying that from day one? And that's what I believe in creating and always have. And this is the work that we love doing, because when we get this and we actually bring that to the marketplace, you'll find that people will start saying, wow, your competitors will start to notice you a lot more. And they could be far greater and far larger than you. They'll say, oh, who's coming to the marketplace all of a sudden?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's then from there, new markets start to come to you as well. And I've seen, you know, clients that we've worked with completely change their markets that they're working towards, and they now have the best customers always coming to them, not just the run of the mill. They've now discarded some of the things that they don't need anymore. So you know, get rid of the elements that could take 80% of your time, but you're only really getting 20% of the input from it or the value from it. Let's try and work more so the other way around, that we're actually getting the customers that really value us, and we can do our work at a much higher level. That's the work that I love to do, you know. And in this time, it's one where I feel that we're helping people change their direction, one way or another, getting them to look at the bigger picture, but not devaluing themselves. Value your difference, and are you now going to stand there and say, I am unique? You know, I'm with a difference. I'm not going to just say I'm the same as everybody else, because that's the easy road. And then back it, invest in it. Don't just see it as a cost. Look at it as an investment and move it forward. So that's the work that you know is really important to me and my team. We don't want to do a Band-Aid solution. We're here to do real work, give real outcomes to real people, and that's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great advice, right? It's about what is the essence of the well, it's what is the essence of the company, but really it comes down to the people or the business owner or the people that exist in that company, right? What is the essence, and identifying the differentiator, but being able to step in and own that piece, right? I am unique, and really stepping in to own that. So that's awesome. That's awesome advice, because I think we can just sometimes follow the path, like you say, the easy path. But the greatness comes from stepping outside the box and taking that path that's less traveled. So that's awesome. All right. So what else we got there, Imran?
I would like to really mention Rob and I had a one-to-one meeting like beginning of this COVID situation, and Rob was telling me, do something that will remember you in this time. Do something unique. And I still remember. I am trying to do something unique that will remember for this time, for this pandemic, for this, because it is a once a 100 years opportunity as well. If you are an opportunist to make something. And other thing I would like to say, Rob, I really follow your Facebook campaign with something new, something in the color, something. So that's an amazing thing you guys are doing from your bouquet design. Can you tell me about more about the campaign you are doing this time in the Facebook page or in your website?
Yeah, sure. Well, for us, it's ongoing, and what I love about campaigns is that they're real, and the real campaigns that we come up with. Obviously, we've got one that's been going since March, all related to COVID. But what we want to do is actually have a message out there that's more positive. So whether you're in isolation, we're saying isolation can actually be a great thing, right? We use the word isolation can be really powerful. Isolation can change your world, right? So that's just a few examples. We've got pages of different concepts related to these that we've turned into a style, and we pop them on our social media, and we've had a lot of engagement, lovely messages from a lot of people as well, which has been cool. And all of our networks have really picked up on it, and they've said, "Oh, Rob, we love the positive messages you're throwing out there, but we're throwing them out there with a twist. We're throwing them out there with we have to wear masks, but really, we're unmasking ourselves in more ways than one, so."
Absolutely. Because that's the thing, right? And so for me, it's always about language and words that we use. And if these are the words that are going around now that and they've created a negative connotation to them, right? But they're just, like you say, it's a mask. But it associates to, remember that time, right? Remember that time when that's all we had to wear. But if you can take that word and put that positivity on it, it's really challenging your own, I suppose, own ideas about, I don't have to buy into that. I can look at this very positively and things like that. So that's absolutely awesome. Well, Rob, it's been fantastic having you here, and I know that our audiences will get so much value out of this because you have parted with some great advice, and just sharing your experience and your positivity. Like it's what we need, right? Too many times the questions are about, well, how have you coped and all this sort of stuff, but coping again is about how we lift ourselves up to do that. So I just want to say a big, huge thank you for coming on and joining us here and supporting us. And we don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere, aren't we, Imran?
Yeah, like Sam tell in the Facebook comments, isolation brought out many ways who haven't met before, taking the ride here today, for example. So lots of people, this isolation we are meeting through online or through the work we do. So that's a great opportunity. And thank you so much, Rob, to come to us and talking to the followers and the viewers. And also a great pleasure to talk to with you, and I think people will love your talk. And also, people, viewers, who would love to connect with Rob. I think Rob can give his Facebook page or the website details. So, Rob, would you mind share the thing how people can connect with you?
Oh, look, I'd say the best scenario is just really our website. Yeah, www.bouquetcreative.com.au. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's easy way to connect up with us. But look, I really want to thank both of you, especially for doing things like this. You know, for helping people to get some knowledge, hopefully some real knowledge, and hopefully be able to help some people along the way. But to all my friends and families in this world, good luck with it all. Keep positive. Look at the great side of it all. And if you talk to people like us, we'll have some fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Rob. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Huh?
Wow.
All right.
That
So
was
that's-
really, really cool.
Yeah, and every time I talk to Rob, I really get some energy. Like
Yes,
that's a great thing from Rob. Like he has lots of energy, and he try to spread the energy with other people as well.
Yep, and a great thing to it's awesome. Here we are online, and you can feel that energy. And people that have been watching us and following us, especially talking to Rob today, even online, you can still feel a person's connection and their integrity and authenticity and smile. I mean, every time I would look at Rob on the screen, he would, you just have this magnetism that just wants to make you smile. So that was absolutely awesome. So our viewers got a very awesome treat today, which is fantastic. So what are we doing next week, Imran? Oh, actually, that's my cue, isn't it? What are we doing next week? Okay, so I have a couple of people to talk to. So we will hopefully have them confirmed. It's just a matter of who's coming on first with availability. But again, awesome accolades, awesome experience to share. So really looking forward to those as well. But I just want to say, if you do have questions for Rob, you know how to get in touch with him, but you can also reach out to us or post your question here, and I'm sure Rob will pick it up and come back to you, but we'll make sure either way. So,
and also I would like to tell, like, if you have any suggestion or if you want to see someone in our program, feel free to contact us and give us some positive or negative feedback that we can improve our event, and we can connect people with meaningfully. That's
yes, because feedback is necessary for improvement, right? So we take all kinds of feedback. Thanks, Imran. Again, a pleasure to be here with you, and we will tune in again next week. Bye.